Assalamualaikum and very good day to all of you. Today we will continue our class, which is basically our third topic, our third class for project cash flow. So for our previous class, we have covered on two topics of project resource planning and the introduction of project cost planning. So today we will continue on the second part of project cost planning, which is project cash flow calculation. So basically today we will focus on the detailed calculation for project cash flow. So hopefully, I hope all of you can understand the detailed calculation and do your own calculation later on. Okay. So without further delay, let me proceed to our today's topic. Okay, before that, how are you everyone? Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Yes, Alhamdulillah, Doktor. Everything okay.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay, so all right. As usual, this is our topics or lecture plan. So basically, as I mentioned just now, we have covered on these two topics, which is on our previous week, week 12. So currently we are in week 13. So we will continue with this topic of project cost planning for project cash flow calculation. And basically, we still have three main topics actually, which are project time cost trade-off, project monitoring and controlling, and then last one we need to cover on project delay analysis. So actually for today, I'm trying to cover these two topics. So hopefully we are able to finish this topic until project time cost trade-off by today. If not, we may continue by tomorrow. Okay. So that's all regarding our topics. For the assessment, last week we have done this quiz 1. So basically this quiz 1 only contribute for 5% of your marks. Later I will share the detail of your marks, the individual mark for this quiz 1. And overall, I think the mark is quite okay. However, I'm trying to recheck on that mark. If any of you got quite low mark, later we will discuss either we will do the requiz or not, meaning that we need to redo or not the quiz. Okay. So for the rest of the assessment, we should have individual assignment and also group project. So basically, this quiz 1 or individual assignment, I'm trying to replace the test 2. However, it's depending on your preference. So I would like to ask all of you whether you want to have the test or you just do the rest of these two assessment. Okay, which one do you prefer?
Doctor, it depends on the type of the assessment you're gonna do. Like if maybe the assignment you're gonna take time, it will be better for us to have a test. So it's up to you what you decide.
All right. So I think later I will double confirm on this part of assessment. Okay. So I think that's all for assessment. So any changes or any updates regarding this assessment, I will inform all of you through WhatsApp group or e-learning platform. So now we will continue with today's topic of project cash flow calculation. So hopefully all of you already okay, before that, have you assessed the e-learning for the several sample questions?
Yes, sure, Doctor.
All right. So basically, there are 3 sample questions as attached through e-learning platform. So hopefully throughout our class, if you miss this slide, you may refer to that detailed question. Okay, so basically this is our topic outlines for today's class. As I mentioned just now, we will focus more on calculation because last week we have covered on the fundamental parts. So this is basically the continuation of our previous class. So for the calculation part, the most important thing is that we need to understand the question itself. So we will continue. We will first look at the sample question, and then I will explain to all of you the related steps to answer that required question. Okay. So without further delay, let me show you the first sample question, which is basically the same question as the one that I attached through e-learning. Okay, so basically this is the overview for the sample question 1. So in order for you to answer this kind of question or to prepare the cash flow calculation, the most important thing is that the first step that you need to do is you need to determine whether this given question is in terms of value of works or the other one is total cost. Okay, if we recall back to our previous lecture, so basically I have shared the simple equation of what we call contract value, which is equal to total cost and total cost plus profit. Okay, so basically throughout our class, throughout all of this topic for project cost planning, hopefully all of you can remember this simple or straightforward formula or equation. So later on, it is easier for you to prepare the detailed calculation. Okay. So once you have this question, you need, as I mentioned just now, you need to determine whether the rest of the value are in value of works or total cost. So that 2 terms you need to differentiate before we proceed to the detailed steps or to the detailed calculation. Okay, that's the main thing for once you got the question, and then the rest of the information, every detail or every information given in the question, you need to focus on, because each of these information, for example, the first one, it is given that the gross profit margin for this project, actually this is a construction of a building, which is basically a simple construction. So just for the purpose of this question, the given margin for the profit is about 10% of the value. So meaning that later on we need to consider, we need to include this percentage to the calculation. Okay, so the other information is that regarding the retention amount. So basically most of the question will give you the percentage of profit margin and also retention amount. So each of these percentage need to be clearly identified, and then later on you will included all of these percentage to your calculation. So by having a clear and correct information, so hopefully you will obtain your correct answers for each of the calculation. Okay. Okay, as requested by Abdullahi, actually I'm currently recording this lecture, which is the same as our previous class. So later on, I will upload all the recorded videos of our class through e-learning. Meaning that for previous class, I will upload together with today's class, okay? Alright, so another thing is for your information, I also have uploaded the last week lecture notes, and I'm so sorry for the delay. And later on, I will upload the mentioned videos, okay? So basically, that's regarding the profit margin and retention amount. And the other information given for this question is that related to the basis of the progress payment, which is for this question, it is mentioned that the progress payment is on monthly basis. So later on, we can take note on this payment basis, and we will distribute the payment based on this requirement or based on this assumption. Okay, so again, I would like to remind that each of these detail need to be considered and need to be included to your calculation, because all of these statement, all of this information will determine where should you allocate that money and where should you distribute that money and or the cost. Okay. And then for the fourth element of fourth information, this one, it is regarding the advance payment. So basically, this information or this advance payment requirement is depending on the what we call on the question, because some of the question will give you this advance payment information. However, some of the rest of the question exclude this advance payment. So it's depending on with what type of question that you will get later on. Okay, especially for your final exam. So advance payment is basically an optional. Sometimes it is given and sometimes you don't need to consider if it is not given. Okay. So the detail of this advance payment information also is very important, because it is just the same, because you need to properly understand all of this statement. So later on, it is easier for you to prepare the Gantt chart and also to prepare the detailed calculation, okay? Which is later on I will explain on that. All right, and the other thing for this question, for the sample question 1, it is also given about the retention money payment basis. So basically, if we refer back, it is given that the retention amount is 5%, and the last criteria is regarding the when should the client repay this retention money to the contractor. Okay. So basically, since seems like all of you already assessed this sample question, so hopefully all of you can get the overall overview for this kind of question. So hopefully it will be more easier for you to understand the details, the requirement of the question, and later on it will be familiar to all of you. Okay. The other thing is that basically all of these apart from this statement, apart from this information, we need also to what we call focus on this assumption, because it is already stated that we can do some assumption on the what we call, in order for us to simplify the calculation. So there are basically these two assumptions that we can make, that we can assume that all costs must be met at the instant they are incurred. So meaning that we just assume that all of the required payment will be made by the client to the contractor on time, which is there is no delay issues that we need to consider in order for us to answer this kind of question. Okay. And then we also can assume that monthly value and cost for each activity are equally distributed. Okay. So later on, I will also explain in detail what's actually all of this assumption mean or refers to. Okay. Basically, this is the whole what we call the whole information for the question. So we will proceed to the other. Basically, this is information in terms of description of the project and question itself, the required or criteria that we need to consider. And the other thing is that for the cash flow question, so basically you will be provided with this kind of table. So basically, previously I have explained regarding the description or the information for the question, and then this is the required table. So basically, if we refer to this table, the main items that included or given to us for the purpose to prepare the cash flow. So basically, there are the details or the list of activities related to the project, and then of course the duration. Basically, most of the time the duration is on monthly basis, which is basically depending on the scale of the project, either it is small or large project. And the other thing is that for the sample question 1, if we notice, we are given this information of predecessor, which is later on, basically we can use this predecessor information to prepare our own network diagram. And as I mentioned previously, we need to double confirm or determine whether all of this information either in value of work or cost of work. So we need to differentiate and identify both of the information, because value of work is not the same with the total cost if we refer back to the formula. Okay, because this value later on, or this information or this figure or cost, will affect your whole calculation if you are unable to determine whether it is in value of work or cost of work. Okay. Alright, so hopefully all of you so far are clear regarding the question for project cash flow. Okay, so the next thing we will continue to do what's actually this question need us to prepare and need us to calculate. Okay, all right. So if we look at here that based on the given information, we need to answer several questions by preparing Gantt chart and detailed calculation. Okay, so later on I will show all of you the steps to answer this question and how we want to prepare the Gantt chart and also the detailed calculation in order for us to obtain all of this, in order for all of us to answer all of these questions. Okay, so basically, for example, the first question, we need to find the total cost of the project. Okay, so basically this is just a quite straightforward question. And the most important thing is that we need to do the cash flow calculation in order for us to obtain this what we call this value or what we call the answer for this question. Okay, by having the detailed calculation, we will determine the maximum cash required for this project, and also the month of the maximum cash is required. So basically, number 2 and number 3, these two questions are interrelated. So once you are able to answer the second question, so basically you will also obtain the correct answer for the third question. All right. So for your information, if you later on, especially for your final exam, final assessment, you will be given this cash flow question And most of the time, these 4 questions are related for the project cash flow calculation. And so far, I think for each semester, for each session, we will have this project cash flow calculation. So hopefully, I hope all of you can focus on this calculation and try to understand each of the related steps, and then at the end you may come out with the correct answers. Okay, inshallah. All right. Okay. Okay, I just forgot just now. For the 4th question, we will need to find the expected monthly payment. So later on, all of these questions, I will show you the detailed calculation. Okay, so basically, herewith I also attach the answers, the correct answers for all of these questions. Okay, so once we have done all the calculation, we can recheck. We can check on these correct answers. Okay. All right. So before I proceed with the rest of the explanation regarding the calculation, so far is it okay to all of you? Do you have anything to ask or anything to clarify? Okay, because throughout our class, as I mentioned during our previous class, if you have anything to ask, you can just interrupt me during the explanation, or if you prefer to ask later on, you can just contact me. Okay, is it clear, everyone? There is no lagging issue.
So okay, Doctor.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so far so good. All right. So okay, I will continue with the what we call with the explanation for this project cash flow question. Okay, there are actually several important tips for you to take note in order to prepare the project cash flow. So basically, the first one is regarding the one that I mentioned several times. The first thing that you need to do is to determine whether the given information either in value or cost of work. All right, both in the description and the table. Okay, if we look at back, so basically it is mentioned here that what we call the question is in value of works, which is need to tally to this one, value of work, because sometimes there are some cases where there are some discrepancies between the given information and also the information in the related table. So we need to check on that, so that in order for us to make sure there are the same value, okay, the same information. All right. Okay, so this is the basic formula or equation that I mentioned just now, which is a CV, contract value, is equal to total cost and plus profit. So basically, up till now, I think all of you already remember this, what we call this basic equation, because I already explained and also mentioned it for several times throughout our class. Okay. And the other tips is that you need to consider all the given information on required payment, either to do the deduction or addition. Okay, so basically it is related to the retention fund or advance payment, because you need to understand that if the given question is related to the retention fund, so for sure later on for your calculation you need to do deduction. Okay. Meanwhile, for the advance payment, it's you need to consider both addition and deduction, because advance payment will be added to your calculation during the early stage of the cash flow preparation, and then it will be deducted later on at the later stage of the project. Okay. After this, I will explain regarding both retention fund and advance payment for our detailed calculation. Okay. All right. The next thing. Okay. The next subtopic for our class today's. Just now, I think it's quite long explanation for the overview of sample question 1, and then starting from the second subtopic until the fourth one, 2, 3, and 4, I will explain the steps or sequence to answer the question or sequence to do the calculations. All right. The next one is preparation of Gantt chart. Okay, so basically this is just the same Gantt chart for our previous class. Okay. Previously, I think the second lecture here. Yes, the second lecture I have shared regarding this Gantt chart. So you need to prepare this Gantt chart in order for you to answer the question. Because by having this Gantt chart, you may get a clear view to answer the question, because later on it is related to the detailed calculation. All right. For the Gantt chart, what you need to do is that the important thing is that you need to include both value or amount and then activity, meaning that you need to list out, you need to prepare this Gantt chart in terms of the required cost or required amount for each of the activity. Okay, all of these are basically depending on the previously given what we call description, and also in the table form. All right. So now if you want to double check on that given information, you may look at back to the sample question, that one which is that one I attached through e-learning. All right, so you can refer back to that question. Okay, wait for a while. Okay, so basically the first thing you need to list out all of the activities, which is the same as in the given table. So basically for this sample question 1, we have activity A until H. Okay, so you need to list out all of this activity with its what we call required budget amount. Okay, it's the table 1. Okay, so the first column you need to include the activity list of activities, and this is for the monthly value, because it, as given in this question, it is in value. The amount is referring to the value of work, and then you need to prepare all of this column for the what we call for the project timeline or project duration. Okay, so basically this project which is on monthly basis, so we can put the what we call list of the month which is related to the project. So basically for this we just put the January until October, since this is on monthly basis. All right, so once we have ready table, then the next step is that we need to what we call to fill up all of the required information to this table. Okay, for example, for activity A, if we refer back to the table 1, the given table 1, the duration is 0 months, so mean that this is the first activity, which is the what we call the first activity among the rest of the activity. All right, so for the activity A, sorry. Okay, so basically the duration for activity A 2 months basically. Okay, I'm sorry for the mistake just
Doktor, sorry interrupt.
Okay.
Doktor, January, February, March the month tu kita assume it start from January, right? Because of from question dia tak ada mention started from which month.
Okay,
Cuma
that's
dia
right.
just mention akan siap pada bulan ke-9. So that's mean guna yang to simplify and assume. You may also assume that the month tu. Am I
Betul.
right?
That's
Okay.
yeah. Thank you, Diana, for your question. Okay, the one that I forgot to mention is that it's depending on the question, because if we refer back to the given information and also the table, what we call, it doesn't mention the actual start month of this project. So we can just assume that it start on January. So basically by default, we just put January until September, okay? Because some of the question, it's already given that the actual start duration and also the actual completion of that specific activity and also for the whole project. Okay, so for the given detail completion and start of the project, so you need to use that specific date or specific duration. Okay. However, for this kind of question, you just use this starting month by using January as the first month for the project, and then followed by the rest of the subsequent month. Okay. All right. So basically, if we refer back to table 1, we have activity A. So activity A, the durations are about two months. Okay, it is the start activity for the whole project, and the value of works is about 800,000. All right, 800,000. Okay, so what you need to do here is that you need to allocate this given amount to cover the first activity, which is activity A. Okay, if you refer back to the question, you can do the assumption that the costs are evenly distributed for the whole duration of the specific activities. So meaning that the total value of works for activity A is 800, since the duration to complete this activity are 2 months, so you just divide it by 2. That's why we have here 400 and 400. So that's why the assumption of even distribution refers to. Okay, this is what's actually evenly distributed means for us to do the calculation or to do this Gantt chart. Okay, similarly to the second activity, which is activity B, if we look at back, it is just the same. The duration is also 2 months. Okay, and the value of works is about 100 and 1,600. Okay, we just okay, before we distribute the cost, we need to properly look at back the relationship between these activities, because as we can see in table 1, we are given the information of predecessor, meaning that the detail of the activities relationship. Okay, so for activity B, it's given that the predecessor for activity B is A. However, it is a finish to start duration with 1 day lag. So that's why we start here. Okay, for activity B. So overall you need to properly check all the given information so that you can have the detail, you can have the correct Gantt chart. Okay, if we miss any of the information, because sometimes the other student tend to do the mistake because they overlook this some of the detailed information given in the question. Okay, because some of them might what we call, might put the second activities which is start here instead of the finish to start with the 1 day lag, 1 month lag. So if you have a wrong Gantt chart, so for sure later on you are unable to get the correct correct answer for each of the question. Okay, so we need to properly identify and take note on each of the given information. Okay. Okay, the rest of the activities C until H, each of the activities have its own duration and also predecessor. Okay, we need to check on each of the given information. Okay, I hope all of you can understand so far regarding how to prepare the correct Gantt chart based on the given information. Okay, especially the given table and also the given description of this question. Okay. So similarly to the rest of the question, it's just the same. We need to check everything. We need to check each of the information. So later on, at the end, we can come out with this Gantt chart.
Doktor boleh repeat tak macam mana the predecessor ni punya definition?
Okay.
Sebab at least sampai E lah.
At least sampai E Okay. Okay. So far we have covered A to B, okay? A and B. And then for C, for example, C, we have 3 months duration. The predecessor will be B. And then what we call the value of works, it's about 1,200. Okay, we just simplify like that. All right. Okay, for C, the predecessor is B, right? Okay, so that's why it start here, April, because there is no other what we call other condition or other criteria for that relationship between C and B, because it's just simply mentioned that the predecessor for C is B. So once B completed, then we can continue with activity C. So that's why activity C will appear here. Okay. So there
Jadi,
is.
kalau nak compare, katalah just untuk B dengan C ni kan, katalah dia punya question tu. Satu condition dia yang pertama katalah apa tu, dia ada finish start -1, satu lagi finish start +1.
Okay.
Dia akan berbeza ke?
Betul, ada beza. Ada beza yang tu. Sebab basically yang ni semuanya basically preparation of Gantt chart ni apa yang penting kat sini sebab dia relate dengan previous lecture by Mr. Rahim, right? Because everything is related to the network diagram. So basically we need to kena faham lah relationship between activities. Because for example kita ada finish to start, start to start, dan juga rasanya ada start to finish. Kita kena differentiate that kind of relationship. Okay, so macam B, this B activities, as it mentioned that the predecessor of B is A, right? However, the what we call there is -1 month punya overlap. So that's why dia ke belakang lah yang ni. Dia start kat sini lah. Dia akan overlap ni during February. Okay. Okay tak? Sampai tadi Encik Iskandar.
So maknanya dia akan ikut predecessor yang the last month lah.
Betul. Dia ikut predecessor, sebab tu kita kena tengok aktiviti, setiap aktiviti kan, macam kat sini kita ada A until H. So setiap aktiviti tu kita kena, memang yang paling penting kita kena tengok dia punya predecessor tu. So sebab kita kena ada continuity kan between the activities. Ni macam for the purpose sample question ni lah, dia ada various type of predecessor for each activity. So kalau yang C ni sebenarnya quite simple lah, sebabnya once B dah settle, B dah finish, then activity C takes place kat sini. Okay. Lepas tu, if we want to continue to the next activity for activity D, dia tulis pula untuk D, it's mentioned that the predecessor is C. However, C dia ada 3 months punya apa namanya lag maksudnya overlap kat situ. So that's why bila sepatutnya dia start kat sini. Kalau dia tak ada kriteria 3 months lag tu, tapi sebab dia dah tulis kat sini kan fs minus 3, so kita akan move backward lah 3 months. Okay. So that's why dia akan start kat sini.
Dia
Okay,
start earlier doktor, dia start sama dengan activity C. So that's why dia letak FS finish to start lack of 3.
Betul. Sebab kalau dia just tulis macam C tu kan, C tu dia punya predecessor B, okay, so maksudnya benda tu straightforward je lah. B dah siap, B dah settle, baru kita masuk kerja C. Okay, so basically
Cuma Nadia Diana, bila kita tengok yang SS tu, bila relationship dia start tu dia ke kotak yang pertama. Tapi kalau final finish to start tu dia ke kotak yang last. Macam G tu kan.
Ya
okay.
betul lah, activities C tu dia start to start, this should be start to start activity pada C. Tapi kalau finish to start untuk activity pada C tu. Yang saya faham lah.
Okay tak? So far dekat aktiviti mana yang Cik tak clear? Cik Iskandar?
Tak, dah okey dah sebenarnya. Cuma jadi confused relationship tu lah. Finish to start dengan start to start. So maknanya kalau finish to start is the last kotak untuk predecessor. Tapi
Betul.
bila start to start tu the first kotak untuk predecessor lah.
Ya betul Cik, betul. Itu betul. So basically itulah dia punya main difference lah, macam Cik explain tadi lah. Okay. So hopefully okay so far Cik Iskandar? Okay, alright. So hopefully all of the rest of you also will understand this and quite clear regarding how to distribute all of this budget for all activities. Okay, because this is very important. Kalau dah salah kat sini, so later on dia punya distribution of the cost will be slightly differ, and then at the end kat bawah ni, if we notice we have another row for monthly total, so benda ni akan jadi lain lah. If we have some mistake over here, so at the bottom part of monthly total, so it will be different. Okay, it will be wrong lah. So hopefully saya rasa once all of you quite clear and already know how to distribute all of the costs depending on the types of the relationship, so there should be any problem for all of you. Hopefully and inshallah it will be okay. Alright. Okay, so that's all regarding the preparation of Gantt chart. Okay, similarly we have several important tips. Okay, this is basically the orang kata apa? Ni lah just restatement apa sebenarnya tips ataupun benda yang kita kena fokus ataupun yang kita kena consider. Alright, so basically what we need to do is that we need to prepare the Gantt chart based on the given information in the table, especially predecessor, which is the same just now as being asked by Mr. Encik Iskandar. Alright, so because as I mentioned previously, this sample question 1, it is given in terms of predecessor or in terms of the network relationship, activity relationship. Okay, so actually if you have this kind of question is quite tricky as compared to the straightforward question. So later on we will see the difference. All right. And the other tips is that you need to distribute the correct amount, either the value or cost based on the given information, given assumption, which is the same. It is even distribution or evenly distribute for the whole duration of the project. And the other thing is that for the purpose to answer the question, especially during the exam, you don't need to draw the precedent diagram. So basically, when you need to draw this precedent diagram is basically for your purpose of assignment and also project. Okay. So for your final exam, you no need to draw this diagram. Okay, so you can cut time to answer the question. You will have ample time to what we call to obtain the correct answer. Okay. All right. So once we have so far we have covered until preparation of Gantt chart. Once we have Gantt chart in responding to the question, then we need to prepare the detailed calculation. Okay. So for the detailed calculation, I hope all of you can give full attention because everything are quite detailed, and we need to know which which amount to be add or to be deduct in order for you to obtain the required amount. Okay. All right. So basically for the preparation of detailed calculation, this one it is essential for all of you to do this calculation so that later on you are able to answer all of the required all of the given question. Okay. So basically for the first step is that you need to prepare this table actually, which consists of what we call basically for the first column it is referring to the different category or different component of the value or cost itself, and then the following column is just for the duration or the timeline for this project. All right. First thing first, we focus to the first one, which is the first item or component. The first thing is that item number 1, which is monthly value of work. So basically, the first row is just the same. You just need to copy back the given information, which is for this question, it is in the value of work. So you just refer back to the what we call to the given, I think the given table just now, sorry. This one. So sorry, not the given table, we need to refer to this one. Okay, you need to refer to the last row of this table, monthly total. Okay, this total will be transferred to this form. Okay, so this monthly value of work. So that's why just now I mentioned that if you have the wrong amount or wrong figure for that previous Gantt chart for this monthly value of work, so the rest of this information will be also wrong. Okay, so that's why we need to properly prepare that Gantt chart. Okay, you just copy the information from the Gantt chart to this table. Okay, the first item is monthly value of work, and then you should calculate the cumulative value of work. Alright, because we need to bear in mind that all of these cash flow will focus on cumulative amount or cumulative value instead of just a monthly basis. Okay. Alright, for the cumulative amount, it's just a simple calculation. For the first month, which is January, the cumulative, because there is no previous previous month, so it's just copy this 400 to this first month of January, and then for the following month you just do the simple cumulative calculation. You just add up these two value and then obtain this one. Alright, 400 with the 1,200, and then the answer should be 1,600. And then it's just the same to the rest of the calculation until the final month or final duration for this project. Okay, so at the end you will obtain the total what you call the final month for the cumulative value of the work, which is this one. Okay, if we that's the second item. And then the third item, which is basically the allocation of the profit margin percentage. All right. So basically, the third item is just optional. However, for me, I think it's a good way for you to include this what we call the third item, because later on you will have a clear calculation step so that you can refer back what's actually the amount of specific item come from. Okay, so you just copy paste this percentage of the profit and then include for all the month, for all the throughout all project duration, and then you need to calculate the profit amount. So basically this 40 comes from this one, 10% out of 400, so it should be 40. And similar to this one, 120 comes from this, and it is just the same to the rest of the month because the percentage of profit is just 10%, which is the same for all month. Okay, until the project completion. All right, and then that's for the fourth item or fourth element. And then for the next one, the fifth one, we have monthly cost. Okay, so basically here, because you need to bear in mind that at the first place, the given what we call the given amount is in terms of contract value. So that's why at the bottom part you need to calculate this one, cost. Okay, that's why we need to refer back to the equation. Contract value is equal to total cost plus profit. So if we want to obtain this cost, the amount of the cost, we need to get this value and do the deduction with the profit. So that's why here 360 comes from 400 minus by 40. Okay, similarly to this one, if we deduct this value of 1,200 with the profit value, profit amount, and then we will obtain this one. Okay, so throughout this class, you may try to what we call to do the calculation in order for us to.
Doktor, boleh interrupt?
Boleh, boleh.
Doktor, yang part profit number 4 tu 120 tu got from 1,600 tambah dengan 10%.
Bukan tambah,
And
10% daripada 1,600. Okay, kejap.
10% macam dapat 160 kan?
Tak ada, should be daripada monthly value.
Sorry. Daripada monthly value. Not
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
pada
take
kelas.
profit from monthly value.
Sebab
Okay,
sorry, maybe tadi saya salah refer kot, salah mention sebab
sebab doktor kata got from ambil daripada kumulatif.
sorry. That
Alright.
one from this what we call monthly value. Okay?
Okay, thank you doktor.
Because it should be from monthly basis lah sebab kita punya profit ni pun apa untuk setiap bulan tu kan. So kita kena refer yang atas ni lah. Tadi saya salah refer lah tu. Sebab actually saya pun kadang-kadang akan tertukar jugalah amount ni. So kita sama-sama double check lah. So throughout my explanation, jika ada apa question ke apa-apa benda nak double confirm, boleh interrupt je. Okay, thank you. Siapa tadi? Diana aku tadi kan for your question. And juga siapa? Cik Iskandar. Alright, so basically this amount monthly cost is the deduction from this one to this one. So monthly value minus with the profit, we obtain the monthly cost. And if we refer back to the third item as being asked by Diana, 10% out of monthly value of the work. Okay. Alright, so similarly, we move to the item number 6. Item number 6 is for the cumulative cost. When we have the monthly cost, for sure we need to calculate the cumulative cost. So it's just the same step. For the January, the cumulative cost, the first month is about 360. And then we add up these two amount, we will obtain the second month cumulative cost. Okay, so you just continue all of this step for the rest of the month. All right, and then the next one is item number 7. All right, okay, so before that, before I proceed with item number 7, is it okay for everyone? Except from just now, we have question from Diana. Any other things to confirm or to clarify? Is it clear? Okay. So hopefully all of you so far can understand this calculation, how to prepare the previous Gantt chart and how to prepare this detailed calculation. Okay, so now we moving toward the next one is monthly claim. So basically you just bear in mind that monthly claim information or the value, you just take from this one. Monthly value of work, which is the first item, which is this one, as just copy from the first item and rewrite again to this what we call to this row, because it is easier for us to refer back. Okay, even the value is just the same, we just rewrite it to have what we call calculation yang ni lah tersusun. Okay. Alright, and then item number 8 is referring to the percentage of retention amount. Similar to this one, third item of percentage of profit, we just put or key in the value of profit for all month. So ni pun kalau kira optional je, tapi kalau nak clear ataupun macam yang saya cakap tadi, calculation yang lebih tersusun, so you just put all the required information or the given information to this table. Okay, and then we proceed with the calculation of retention amount. Alright, for the retention amount, similar to the profit, we need to calculate this deduction percentage to the monthly value of work or monthly claim. So that's why we obtain this. 5% out of 400 will be only 20. Okay, so that's why we got 20, and here we have 60 and so on for the rest of the month. Okay, again we need to calculate the cumulative retention amount, because again I would like to remind that all of this calculation should consider the cumulative value instead of the monthly basis. Alright. And then for the cumulative, just similar to the previous one, we need to do the addition. So we will have this the value for each of the month for the cumulative retention amount. Okay, we need to add up everything. So we need at the end we have the final cumulative retention amount. And then, all right, up till now, 1 to 10 item is quite straightforward. And then the next element or next item is this one, which is quite important because it is depending on the given information. Okay, kita kena refer balik kepada soalan tu kan, sebab kalau you tengok balik dekat sample question tu, it is mentioned that this question 1 have advance payment of 700,000 I think. Okay, so kita kena tengok balik lah the statement ataupun the given information. Okay, if we look at back, the contractor is given advance payment of 700,000 at the start of the project. Okay, so that's why the starting of this project is in January. So that's why we put all the payment, all the amount here. 700 will be here, the total amount. And the other thing, it's given that the payment will be returned to the client through the progress payment deduction. Okay, so maksudnya later on there will be deduction through progress payment starting from 4 until the 10 month equally. So that's why for this row we have this one. There is no information here because untuk bulan kedua, bulan ketiga ni, it is not related. So that's why it should be 0. So no amount here. And then as we refer back to the statement, what we call the payment will be returned from the contractor to the client during here. Starting from the 4th, which is April, until the 10th month, which is October. So that's why we allocate or distribute this evenly because we have here 7 months. So each of the month will cover for 100,000. So we have the uniform amount distribution here. Okay. Okay, this one you need to properly refer back to the question. Okay. The next one we have. Okay. Sorry.
Excuse me, sorry, miss. For the 0, like, can you repeat this row because I don't understand the way you get the 0.
This 2 zeros, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, just now Abdullahi, if we refer back to the question, right? Sample question 1. Okay, basically it is stated that the contractor is given advance payment of 700,000 at the start of the project. So meaning that at the start of the project is referring to the first month, which is January. So that's why you need to put all the amount, the total amount of 700,000 here, only here, because we need to follow all the instruction or all the given information. And then how about the February and March? Because there are no more no payment being made by the client to the contractor. So that's why there is no amount here. So that's why it's either for you to put only the dash or just put 0 here, because there is no payment occur here. No payment happened during both month, February and March, in regarding to the advance payment. Okay, is it clear for you, Abdullahi?
Yeah, it's okay. What about the 100?
Okay, and this 100 again, we continue refer to the same same question 1. Okay, it is stated that the payment will be returned to the client, meaning that the contractor at the start of the project, the client pay them as an advance payment. However, this advance payment need to be returned to the client throughout the rest of the project duration, and it is mentioned here that the payment will be made through the progress payment deduction. So meaning that which is starting from the end of fourth month. Okay, this one is the fourth month, which is April, until the end of the project duration is which is the 10th month. So that's why this 100 is the uniform amount distribution of this 700. Okay, 700 if you divided it evenly for all the rest of this month, so that's why you have 100 and another 100 and so on for the rest of the month until it is up to the 700, because this is just what we call it is a way for us to put it like this, so later on it is easier for us to do the calculation of the rest of the item. Okay, so is it okay, Abdullahi, or it is still not clear regarding
Yeah,
the...
it's clear.
All right.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, thank you. Hopefully the same with the rest of you. I hope every one of you can understand how actually and how the amount how we want to distribute and also to allocate each of the costs. Okay, and then we will proceed to the next item, which is monthly cash in. All right, so basically this one is the cash in, refers to the payment by the client to the contractor. Okay, so as I mentioned just now, for this project there is an advance payment of 700. So that's the only payment made during the first month of the project. So that's why the only payment during the January is only 700. Okay, because there is no previous record or previous payment have been made, so that's why it is solely 700, just 700, yeah, 700,000. Okay, so how about the second month? Okay, second month is basically referring to, okay, for the second month, sorry, okay, let me double check for the second month, because this one, okay, wait for a while, sorry for the interruption. Okay, continue back to this item for monthly cash in. So for the for the February, for the following month, we need to do the deduction from here, monthly claim, which is referred to how much the total amount claimed by the contractor to the client, and this one need to deduct with the retention amount, because we need to bear in mind that this project has the retention money, so that's why the client will do the deduction. So the total payment, once we deduct 20 from 400, we will have this amount. Okay, so it is just the same to the rest of this one, because we need for item number 12, we need to do deduction of this one, previous previous month of item 7, deduct with the previous month of item number 9, and then you will obtain this. Okay, for this one, 100 and 1,200 minus with the 60, you have this one. Okay, Is it clear? Because later on, all of these step or all of these what we call equation or which component that you need to deduct or you need to add, I will show the summary. Okay, so it is easier for you to do the calculation. So is it clear for the monthly cash in? Is it okay?
Okay, doktor.
Alright, okay, thank you. Sebab saya ingatkan senyap tu dah lagging dah. Risau juga internet ni. Okay.
Recalculate, doktor.
Okay, okay. Alright, thank you dia. And then kita
Doctor,
sorry, yes, Maika.
yeah, for the 660, because
660, this one monthly claim of the from March, okay, previous month, this one. You need to deduct with this, sorry, 40, okay. Oh, sorry, this one, 40, and then this one, 100. Okay, I forgot to explain the next month because if we notice that we have what we call two deduction here. Because starting from this April, the contractor need to return the advance payment. So that's why we obtain this 660. Is it clear, Maika?
okay, clear. So if any advance payment, so
Yeah.
we have to deduct it as well together with the retention amount.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Okay.
And for just the same to this one, 1,700 deduct with retention amount. And then since it's also have this advance payment that need to be returned, so that's why we have double deduction here. So at the end, for example here May, this is the only amount that will be received by the contractor from the client. Okay. So it's just the same to the rest of the payment that will be made by the client to the contractor. Okay, so similarly, you need to do the cumulative cash in calculation. You just add up this what we call this amount for the January with February, and then you obtain this one. So you just repeat the similar step with the previous calculation of cumulative amount. Alright? And then the last
Untuk
one.
yang cash in tu, yang
Yeah.
November, December tu, kenapa dia muncul kat situ?
Okay, sorry. Okay, untuk November sama juga. November, so basically here, right? 475. So, kat mana datangnya 475 is that monthly claim yang ni? 5,000, 500, just deduct with the retention amount here. And then, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 7, 5. Here, because we don't have no more. So basically here should be, sorry, I think there is mistake. This one should be 575 because we don't need to deduct anymore this 100. Okay, sorry Cik Iskandar. So basically this one 575. We just, sorry. Betul lah kan? 475. 500 minus 25, right? Betul tak Cik Iskandar?
Betul.
Betul.
Betul. Sorry. Salah tengok. So basically dari situlah Cik Iskandar. Betul tak?
Yang 645 tu?
Okay, 645 ni basically sebenarnya macam ni. Kalau kita refer balik what we call question tu, dia ada mention macam ni. Sorry, kita refer balik statement retention amount tadi. Kejap, saya pun kena refer soalan. Okay, kat sini dia tulis the retention money is repaid 3 months after the practical completion. So basically sebenarnya 3 bulan sepatutnya sini ada satu lagi column January, right? Sebab 3 bulan. So basically saya pun sebenarnya apa nak cakap tadi? Sebenarnya actually this November and December is just optional lah, optional column lah kat sini. So by right, kalau you all have prepared until up to this October is just apa orang kata dah siap lah, dah okay. Ni for the purpose nak explain just sebenarnya. So basically 645 should be in January punya ni lah. We call January punya column. Sebab dia kata 3 bulan, dalam masa 3 bulan dia return retention, what we call retention money. So retention money kita tengok balik kat sini lah, cumulative retention 1. So basically boleh transfer ke sini and at the end kita tambah lah 11610 ni dengan 645, at the end dia balik dapat ni 1290 ni. Sebenarnya ni for the purpose of checking lah, sebab kat sini kita kena apa orang kata, kena for the checking purpose this final amount should be the same with this one. Okay, so kalau kata final amount kita sama, so it should be correct lah. Okay, faham tak? Siapa tadi? Cik Iskandar. Okay ke?
Tak okey.
Tak okey? Maksudnya kat mana tu yang tak faham?
645 ni dia retention time, cumulative amount, and that from the question, the nombor 5 punya V tu punya Roman tu, retention money is repaid 3 months after the practical completion.
Okay.
Itu yang tak faham kan.
Alright, itulah saya cakap tadi, sepatutnya 645 ni bukan duduk dekat Disember ni. Sepatutnya saya letak sini terus Januari lah. Faham tak? Sebab dia kan 3 bulan. 11, 10, 11, 12, 1 lah should be the payment, apa orang kata? Dia repaid selepas habis kan, completion, practical completion of this project, right? So basically column December ni should be January lah sebenarnya. Okay ke? Siapa dah? Encik Iskandar. Satu lagi kita tambah mana tadi? Apa dah kita tambah nilai ni sebab dia kena sama-sama kumulatif lah. This one dengan kumulatif juga, at the end kita dapatlah cumulative value ni. Okay ke? Boleh jelas tak kat sini? Sebenarnya ni lebih kepada untuk kita checking jugalah, betul tak at the end kita punya whole, apa orang panggil, whole cost ni dengan juga detail amount for each element ni ataupun each item. Macam mana Encik Iskandar?
Tak apa, proceed je.
Okay. Tak apa, kalau ada apa-apa lagi yang masih lagi tak clear, nanti saya cuba explain lagi. Okay Encik? So far,
Okay.
alright, okay, thank you. And then, yang kita nak sebenarnya, the most important, apa orang panggil, to answer that question is actually this one, monthly cash required. So, banyak-banyak yang kita kira ni, at the end, kita nak, ni lah, obtain this value. Because if we refer back to the question, the second one, I think kita kena cari maximum cash required. So that's why based on this detail calculation, at the end kita dapatlah nilai ni. So basically, kat mana kita dapat nilai ni sebenarnya? Okay, monthly cash required ni kita kena ambil nilai ni, item number 6, cumulative cost. Kita kena minus dengan cumulative cash in. Alright. Okay, for example here, 360, if we minus with 700, we will obtain this one. Sebenarnya it should be negative lah. Negative 340. However, this negative value, apa orang kata, not refer to the not actually refer to that negative amount because we just want to show that the contractor have extra 340. Maksudnya sebab macam mana dia punya cumulative cost is only this one. However, dia kan dah ada apa orang kata, dia kan dah ada advance payment for about 700. So this is the 340. Okay. However, kita tak perlu tulis pun negatif tu. Tapi that's how the calculation is. And then sama juga for the next month, February, we need to take this. Sorry, I will double check this. 1440 minus with 1080. It should have, sorry, 750. Okay. Okay. 750 actually for the what we call for the subsequent month, it's we need to take this value, the current cumulative cost for the what we call for that specific month, kita tolak dengan yang sebelumnya, previous one, 700, this one to this one. So that's why we have 740 here. And then similarly to 2160 minus with 1080. Alright, similarly to this, we just do it like this. Alright. And all of the summary will be provided and I will show you later on each of the equation. Okay, you just do the calculation for all of the month and at the end we need to identify which is the maximum or the highest cash required. So that's so in this case this is the answer. Alright. Sorry, not 2625. This is the answer, 2910. Okay. So basically, this is the maximum cash required by the contractor at this specific what we call specific time, which is during August. Okay. So both of this one we got the answer for question number 2 and question number 3 if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Is it okay? So now for the cash required, is it clear, everyone?
Doktor, boleh ulang balik yang cash required tu maknanya monthly claim
Okay,
tolak.
Bukan, kejap. Tadi monthly claim. Okay, dia tolak, bukan monthly claim yang ni. Cumulative cost. You ambil ni kan, cumulative cost sebab yang ni dia tak ada. Okay, yang ni.
Cumulative cost, tolak retention fund.
Tolak ni, cumulative cash in. Contohnya kan, January. January punya kalau kita nak tahu, kita kena ambil January, kena tolak dengan January jugalah. Sebabnya, apa nak cakap, dia tak ada yang previous. Dia tak ada previous one, so kita just tolak dengan nilai January juga. So this is the kata amount yang dia balance amount. And then kalau untuk February pula, kita kena ambil cumulative cost February, tolak dengan previous cumulative cash in, which is January. So 1440, if we deduct with 700 ni, 700, kita dapat 740, right? And then sama juga dengan March ni kan. Kalau kita ambil March, tolak dengan yang sebelumnya ni, 1080. So sini pun dapatlah 1080. Okey tak? Siapa tadi?
Cumulative cost tolak cash in lah maknanya. Cumulative cash in.
Betul. Betul. Cuma kita kena tahulah bulan berikutnya ataupun bulan sebelum tu kita nak do the deduction tu. Okay. Nanti saya bagi dia punya tu lah summary untuk whole step tu. Okay ke? Siapa tadi Awin? Okay. So, okay ya?
Tapi saya tak faham kenapa dia nak tolak dengan 700 tu. 700 tu nanti last nak kena deduct juga yang 7 bulan ke belakang tu.
Sebenarnya kalau ini dia nak refer kepada cash required je, bukannya apa? Bukannya cash in yang ni. Kita just nak tahu berapa. Okay.
Tak apa, saya try fahamkan dulu.
Okay. Tak apa. Kalau apa-apa nanti boleh je tanya lagi. Sama juga the rest of you. Okay. And then
so the December is nothing, right? December is kosong, then January got 645. December is kosong.
December is kosong. This one ke?
December cash in is 0. Cumulative cash in is remain 12255.
Alright.
Then should be January, right? The 645.
Yes, 645 should be January, Mr. Tai.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Alright, thank you juga. Okay, so basically detail calculation dia macam ni lah, dia quite detail. And then saya rasa later on if you do your own calculation, nanti go through each of the item. So I'm sure that it will be more easier for you and semua akan lebih faham lah. Tapi throughout the practice, kalau ada apa-apa nak tanya, boleh je tanya saya. Okay, I'm try to assist all of you with my best. Okay.
Nak yang the question number 4 tu, jawapan dia 470 tu, kat mana 470 tu?
Okay, sekejap saya kejap lagi kita kita go one by one untuk each of the question. Sekejap saya tukar slide ni. Okay, sekejap Cik Iskandar. Okay, so basically this is the summary untuk calculation step. So later on I will share all of this slide. So boleh double check lah balik kalau in case lah for my part ada mistake apa, you can just inform me. Okay. Alright, this is the summary. And then okay, sekejap. Kita belum ni baru masuk yang analysis of detail calculation actually. Alright, so basically this is what answer apa yang kita nak respond to that question lah. Alright, so kita refer balik. Kalau question 1 dia tanya the total cost, right? So total cost here refer to the total cumulative cost. So question 1 the answer will be here. Alright, so kalau you refer balik kepada question tu, ni dia punya. Will be apa? Siapa tadi? Macam mana tu? Ada tanya ke tadi siapa? Tak ada soalan Okay. So for the question 1, if we refer back to the sample question 1, the first question that we need to answer is that what's actually the total cost of the project. So this is the answer for question 1. We need to refer to this item number 6, which is the total cumulative cost. So that's why the answer is 115,610. And then moving to the next one, second and third question are actually interrelated. Okay, what is the maximum cash required for this project? So this is the answer for the question 2, which is we need this amount for the maximum cash required. Okay, so the other question, the third question is when the maximum cash required is needed. So that's why it is being asked that month of the maximum cash required is this one, August. Okay, we just refer back to the same column, which is happen or occur in August. So that's the answer for the third question. Okay, as being asked by Cik Iskandar just now, how about the fourth question or question number 4? We need to, we need to find the expected monthly payment received of all works that are scheduled to be completed in month 9 only. Alright, so basically soalan ni sebenarnya dia refer to the monthly cash in. Dia dah cakap mention to the month 9. So basically here kita kena refer kat sini lah. Okay, kenapa kita ambil Oktober? Sebabnya kalau kita refer balik soalan, dia kan dah mention every claim made by the contractor will be made to the following month. Maksudnya 1 month later. So that's why payment for the September will be received by the contractor from the client here during October. So this is the answer for question number 4. So I would like to remind all of you that we need to bear in mind that we need to properly focus to question, because sometimes most of the what we call student, most of us tend to choose this one, 2184 2180, because all of this depending on the what we call on the information given in the question. Kalau dia dah cakap 1 month after, memang kita refer kat sini lah. Kalau dia cakap occur during the same month, payment will be made at the same month, so kita just ambil ni. Okay Alright, so macam mana, okay ke tadi Cik Iskandar? Is everything okay? All of you?
The monthly cash required, why is not is the same, should be like, for example, the same month cumulative monthly cost minus the same month monthly cash in cumulative. I expect like not minus the monthly cash in before the month before.
Which one can you
Monthly cash required.
money cash required, item number 14, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
For example, we take any month, let's say May.
okay,
Let's say May, we take 5220. Why is not minus 4395?
4395. Sorry, let me double check on this. Sorry. Wait for a while, Mr. Tai just now, right?
Yes.
Okay. This one you have to do it. Okay, wait for a while. While waiting for this, I will double check on that. We can have about maybe 5 minute or 10-minute breaks. Is it okay? We will start again at 4:15. Alright?
Okay, Doktor.
Okay, Doctor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, is everyone here? Can we continue? Okay, all of you, can we continue?
Yes, betul.
All right. Okay. Okay, continue today's what we call just now. Ms. Seta has asked the question regarding the monthly cash required. So basically, actually monthly cash required is referring to the cash requirement, right? Required cash. So basically, for us to do the calculation, we need to consider the cumulative cost, which is it is actually a cash, what we call cash out, and then we need to deduct with this cumulative cash in. So by deducting cash out and then with the cash in, so at the end we will obtain this cash requirement. However, in order for us to do the deduction, we must deduct the, for example, for this particular, what we call particular month of August, the cash requirement should be deducted from the cumulative cost for this August or this particular month with the cash in of the previous one. That's how we do the calculation. Okay, we need to consider the current, what we call the current month for the cumulative cost or the cash out with the cash in of the previous month. Okay, because of the statement of what we call 1 month late, what we call 1 month payment of 1 month later. Okay, that's why we do this deduction. Okay, kita kena ambil apa dia punya cumulative cost untuk bulan tersebut, tapi kena tolak dengan yang cash in bulan sebelumnya. Okay.
But the cash in, the monthly cash in, we already consider is the payment from last month.
Yes.
So should be because the cash in already considered previous month, then the cash required consider another month before, then we become like 2 months before we consider the cash in.
We just consider cash in.
Because in the monthly cash in, we already considered is a month before.
Okay.
So I thought it's because the monthly cash in already considered the month before, so the cash in that at the same month August is already from July.
Oh, okay. So that's why you think it is from the same month, right?
Yes.
Okay, but actually that's how it is. We need to consider the previous month. Okay. Okay, macam mana ya? So, okay, saya rasa it's okay. Later on, maybe siapa Mr. Tai, we can discuss again. Okay, for now, I think, can we proceed to the next one?
Okay, can.
Okay, anything, you can just contact me directly, okay? I will try to explain detail. Alright, okay. Okay, so that's all regarding the detail calculation and the way how we prepare the required table for this calculation. And then I think the next one, okay, this is just another important tips for you to consider. What we call Okay, for the calculation of total cost of the project, it can be directly obtained by using formula even without the table of detailed calculation. Meaning that for you to answer the first question, in order for you to find what is actually total cost for that specific project, you can just do the calculation because you know the profit percentage, which is for this question is 10%. You just do direct calculation. However, we still need the detailed calculation in table form because at the end we need to calculate this maximum cash required and the rest of the question. Okay. So the other thing is that previously I already mentioned about this maximum cash required and also month of maximum cash required are interrelated. So once you able to obtain this value, so you just need to check the month of this value occur. So that's the month of maximum cash required. So that's why they are interrelated. Okay, so basically this one for question 2 and question 3 for this sample question, and this one for question 1. All right, this is for question 4. For monthly cash in of specific month, we need to refer back to the given assumption. Okay, if it's given that the payment will be made 1 month later, so we need to consider that. All right. In certain case or in some cases, the payment can be made maybe 2 months, after 2 months. So we need to consider all of these assumptions. All right. Okay, that's several tips for you to consider. Okay, okay, we will skip this because just now we already have short break. Okay, basically the rest of the subtopics is just we want to look at on the other 2 sample question so that you can have different you can differentiate in terms of what we call in terms of the information given for each of the question. Okay, some of the question are in value of work and the other one is in total cost, so we can differentiate all sort of information. All right, because currently we are running out of time, I'm trying to cover the rest of the sample question. Okay, okay, I believe that all of you have already referred to the attached question in the e-learning. So basically, continue to the sample question 2. So any of you can give me what we call can identify any difference between our first sample question to this question. Anyone would like to share or would like to volunteer?
The second question is show the cost of work. Before this question 1 is value of work.
Okay, and then the other difference maybe in terms of the what we call the details criteria of the question. Okay, do you have
retention amount?
Okay. Okay, it's okay. Just now Diana has mentioned that the main difference for the second question to the first one is that in terms of the cost, meaning that this is the main item that I remind all of you to properly identify because the second one is in terms of cost of work, not the value of work. So this is the main difference. Okay, and the other difference is that if we can see this question 2 do not include or do not require any allocation for advance payment. All right. So later on, there is no need for us to prepare the calculation for advance payment since there is no advance payment be made by the client to the contractor. Okay. This just consider the retention amount and the rest of the information are quite similar. Okay, just the same. However, the details of the, for example, the duration, the percentage or the margin for gross profit and retention amount can be slightly different. Okay. Okay, I think all of you can understand all of this description. And the second thing is that I would like to ask what's the difference between the first table 1 and this table 2. Okay, can you notice any difference? In terms of what?
No predecessor.
Yes. No predecessor. Okay. Predecessor. So basically, this is the main, we call main difference. Because previously I have informed that this question can be into form. The first one you will given predecessor for the activity relationship, and the other one is quite straightforward because you are given this exact start date and finish date. So basically it's quite simple than the previous one. Okay, that's what we call, that's the main difference that I want to highlight. So later on you can properly differentiate the difference. Okay. Okay, here it's also mentioned that this question in terms of cost of work as compared to previous one in terms of value of work. All right. Similarly, most of the time the what we call the question is just the same. We need to find this for what we call for values or for answers, because we need to calculate the cumulative payment, the payment received, and so on. And most important thing is that we for sure need to calculate this maximum cash required and also month of the maximum cash is required. Okay, so basically I will just go through the this sample question 2 and 3. So hopefully later on you can do your own practice and you do your own calculation in order for you to be more familiar and more understand regarding all of this calculation. Okay, all of you can try do your own calculation later on. Okay, and try to check whether the answer that you will be obtained is the same or not with the given answer. Right? Okay, so basically that's just overview for the sample question 2. And before we end our topics for this topic, we will look at another sample question 3. So basically the main difference also just the same with question 2, because this one also cost of work, gross profit margin, retention amount, requirement is just the same. Progress payment also 1 month later. Retention money also the same, repaid 3 months after the practical completion. However, the other element or the other information is that it stated the starting dates for this project. So basically you need to follow the given information because there will be several choice of the answers. So you need to find the correct one, and that's why you need to follow the given actual date. Okay, if it's not given as in question 1, so it's okay because that one on monthly basis, not with the specific date. All right, the assumption is just the same. You may assume that the what we call the payment will be happen instantly, incur or at the what we call at the same month, not at the same what we call specific time frame, meaning that there is no delay issue. Okay, you just assume that all of the costs can be equally distributed. Okay, so another thing for the table 3. Okay, similarly, table 3. using the predecessor for the activity relationship, which is the same with the question number 1, sample question 1. And then I think there is some mistake here. It should be cost of work. So I will do the correction here. Because we need to double check whether the given information for both table and detailed description should be tally and have the same value. It is either value of work or cost of work. Alright. Okay, I think that's all for the sample question. Because this one also is just the same. We need to do the calculation in order for us to answer all of this required or the given question. Okay, so basically just now, because the question asked us to find the contract value, so meaning that this is correct. However, there should be correction here. It should be in value of work. Okay, it's okay. Later on, I will update the correct version of this question. Okay, so basically that's all for our overview for several sample questions. So, so far we have covered 3, right? We have only 3 sample questions. The first one, we have go through the detailed step and also the calculation. So hopefully later on you can do your own practice. You can do your own calculation. Try to answer this sample question 2 and 3. Okay. Okay. That's all for our topic, project cash flow calculation. Case, we will continue the next topic tomorrow. Inshallah, by tomorrow we try to cover the next topic of project time cost trade-off during morning session, because for tomorrow we have morning and evening session. So hopefully we can cover the rest of the topic, which is project time cost trade-off, and then we also have project monitoring and controlling. And the last one, we may cover some part of project delay tracking, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so that's all for today's class. And hopefully for your practice, hopefully all of you can can try to answer the sample question, and anything if you still don't understand, you can ask me. I try to attend to all your questions and try to assist the best. Okay, so I think that's all for today. Thank you, and we meet again inshallah by tomorrow.